Here on Flow FM, we're catching up with Ali Cupper, the member for Mildura. Ali, how are you going at the moment?
Hey, Ricky, I'm good.
Look, we'll talk about the River Murray in a moment. It is a bit wet in your electorate at the moment as well?
It's really wet. So we've had a few good showers in Mildura, and we're driving actually to Charlton today. So crossing a lot of our farming territory, and the paddocks are looking very, very green, which is great.
Yeah, always encouraging to see. But at the moment, during this wetter La Nina cycle, 3 in a row, it looks like from the Bureau of Meteorology, we're still dealing with the policy of the Murray-Darling Basin plan with a 2024 deadline, and sounds like the ministers are finally going to meet and talk about where we're heading.
Yeah, that's right. So look, we've had there's been a change of government federally, so we're hoping that we get now into more of a consistent pattern of meeting when we should be meeting. So that's all of the water ministers across the country, and of course the federal government as well. So there hasn't been a MinCo meeting since April 2021, and look, there's so much to work out. You know, we've got this looming deadline for the Murray-Darling Basin plan. It needs to be all sorted out and completed, and that water needs to be back to the environment by 2024. We needed to meet.
Yep.
Literally years ago. Finally, we're meeting, which is good.
Yeah, we're picking up some chatter from at our end. Certainly there's interest in this deadline because really it means buybacks will be coming back if water recovery targets aren't reached, including this 450 gigalitres to go down to South Australia.
Which we think is entirely avoidable. So New South Wales, we know that in terms of the annual average of floodplain harvesting, that more than accounts, the volume that they're floodplain harvesting above the 1995 cap more than accounts for that 450 gig. So we're saying to the federal government, look, if you need to do anything, if you need to flex any muscle at all, please don't be buying back water. Certainly not in our patch, because Victoria has already done a whole lot of heavy lifting, and our farmers have already paid enough of a price. You need to start in New South Wales, in the north, where we know, by all accounts, that they've been doing the wrong thing for a very long time. That's where you go if you need to claw back 450 gig. We shouldn't be touching our farms.
Well, New South Wales government have protested previously that they feel like they've done the heavy lifting, and South Australians say the same when it comes to buybacks if that's where we end up. And it looks like that's where we're heading. It'll be from any willing seller anywhere in the basin, or do you feel like they should be targeting New South Wales for that water recovery?
No, but I'm not talking about buybacks for New South Wales. I'm talking about floodplain harvesting. So that needs to be capped back at the 95 caps and regulated, and that water needs to be able to be stay in the river or spill into floodplains and wetlands. That's what needs to happen. That's separate to buybacks. And I think if New South Wales is suggesting it's done any heavy lifting, that has got to be the joke of the century. That is a ridiculous suggestion that they've done heavy lifting. Far from it. They have been absolutely immoral and unethical. Not only have they thrown their own people under the bus in terms of the lower Darling, where we've had farmers have to walk off after generations of farming, but they've done the same to their neighbouring states, which is quite frankly un-Australian.
Are we seeing at the moment with the Barmah choke, the Millawa Forest, we were speaking to someone near Deniliquin about that it was saturated. She said it was like a sponge that couldn't take any more water, and we've got both Hume and Dartmouth dams spilling. Are we seeing now in a cycle where we weren't expecting under the Basin Plan? Is it time to pause the plan and look at what we're experiencing during a very wet cycle?
Well, I don't think so, because it's in those wet cycles that's where the environment can get the water it needs to sustain itself through the dry cycles, which we know with climate change are going to happen much more frequently. That's when the existential crisis hits. That's why we have a Murray-Darling Basin plan at all, because in the Millennium Drought, literally forests were dying. And if we don't have a river system that is sustainable and has a basic level of health, then none of our communities survive. And the other factor, I think, too, is that we need to be conscious of the fact that a lot of our industries require water to be taken out of the river. We get that, but we also have a multi-billion-dollar tourism industry that relies on water being in the river, and the river being very healthy. So and the environment being healthy. And so to that extent, we need to take these opportunities when it's wet to make sure the environment gets a good drink. And so pausing the plan, in my view, makes no sense at all.
And just to clarify, your view, I gather, is that not one more drop of water in terms of irrigation water should be coming out of the electorate of Mildura?
In terms of buyback?
Well, buyback or any other form of surrender other than efficiency measures.
Well, that's right. Exactly. We've done enough. That would be my view. And also, again, like I said, the annual average of floodplain harvesting take by New South Wales above the 95 cap far exceeds the amount of money we need to claw back to meet the 2024 deadline.
Amount of water, I gather.
That. So we can get the water that the environment needs without any buybacks, just simply making sure it's not being stolen further upstream.
All right, Ali Kappa, well, we'll see how this is all going to progress when the plan is reviewed throughout the next 12 to 18 months. Thank you very much for joining us again on Flow.
Thanks, Ricky.